All right. Welcome, one and all, to the Off the Rails Sports Podcast. I am your host, John. And if you could, please hit that like and subscribe button. It means a lot to us. Leave some comments. We always appreciate those. And let's get to it for Friday, recapping the world of sports. And these are always the saddest stories. Um, a pro athlete losing all their money. To me, one of the most tragic stories was Mike Tyson making somewhere between $300 and $400 million and ending up bankrupt. I remember back in the day being in the Mirage with my friend Evil Rich, and we heard something. It was like a train coming through. The Mirage was kind of the place to be, and we were sitting there in the sports book, and we heard this roar come through the casino, and I mean a roar. Not a craps roar, not a blackjack win or a slot win. It was just, man, it was energy. And we looked up, and coming through the casino was Mike Tyson in literally an entourage of 80, 100 guys. I don't know. And we just watched them, and they just went wherever they went. Nobody was stopping Mike Tyson back then. He had access to the kingdom. He could do whatever he wanted with no repercussions. And I remember Rich and I were talking about it later, and I was like, God, what? This is in the 80s. Obviously, there's a little different scale, but I was like, everybody in that entourage has to be making 100, 200 grand. I mean, nobody's there free, right? And that's how you burn through $300-400 million. You get Don King in your pocket, you get whatever. And to that extent, maybe not as demonstrable as what happened to poor Mike Tyson. We have Malik Beasley, been in the league for a while, has accumulated $40 million in career earnings. Had a very good year last year with the Detroit Pistons. Made $6 million. Was on the verge of signing a 3-year, $42 million deal with the Pistons, and then the NBA announced that the Eastern District of New York was investigating him for gambling improprieties, allegations of doing illegal things with player props. This is the third player we've seen this year. And honestly, I've gambled. I understand gambling really well. I'm not some yokel. I get it. I'm not Bill Walters. I'm not Bill Krakenberg, Steve Fezzik. I'm not the heavy hitters. But I understand the world, and I don't understand how you can make any money on this. I mean, yeah, okay, you can have friends and relatives, like we had Jonte Porter. Okay, you're gonna put $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, maybe. I mean, Michael Jordan would be able to do it, but the guy is making $100 million a year. He's not going to screw it up for $50,000 in bets. These small players, they get $2,000 or $3,000 bet on a prop like over under points or rebounds or whatever. I mean, the antenna goes up at FanDuel and Sports Kings. I mean, wow, a lot of money on a guy who's like eighth guy off the bench, right? Well, Malik Beasley obviously is in this, and once you get in it, good luck. Your career's done. He's goes. Well, he got evicted from his apartment in Detroit. Uh, he owes 21 grand, and for a guy who made $6 million, you think 21 grand would be like couch cushion money, but he's traveling in Europe. He's doing whatever he's doing. I hate to see these guys. I think about Vin Baker, former Celtic, going through $100 million. Luckily, he knew Howard Schultz, who was when he was the owner or involved with the Seattle franchise, and was able to get a job running a Starbucks. Can you imagine having $100 million just slip through your fingers? Oh my God! I don't know how you don't put the gun in your mouth, and I'm not advocating it. I'm mental depression is a real thing. Suicide is a real thing. I'm not pushing it, but man, when you've had it and then you've lost it, gosh, how do you recover from it? Well, best of luck to him. I hope he gets adjudicated. I hope It just smells too much. The Terry Rozier, the Jonte Porter, you have Malik Beasley. There's a lot of stuff going on there. All right, let's get to the world of football. We are in preseason. We are in the first games of the preseason. And the Detroit Lions, Maurice Morris, in the fourth quarter was taken off the field in an ambulance. He does have feeling in his arms and legs, which is good. I'm really happy. I think of Mike Utley when he was with the Lions, paralyzed. Daryl Stingley. There's been some other prominent players. These guys really, they do put their lives on the line. It's a serious thing. In the abbreviated game, the Lions beat the Falcons 17-10. Browns played the Panthers, beat them 30-10. Now, the highlight of it was Shedeur Sanders. He started for the Browns. He threw 2 touchdowns, 14-23, a buck 38. He also added 23 yards rushing. He's the fourth quarterback on the depth chart. You have Dylan Gabriel, who was taken in the third round. You have Joe Flacco. We shall see what happens with Deshaun Watson. Maybe the kid's got a shot. You give him the ball, you give him a shot. You never know. Isn't that what happened to Tom Brady? Drew Bledsoe went down, and Tom Brady, the Wally Pip Lou Gehrig thing, never gave him a shot back. Maybe that's what we'll see with Shedeur Sanders. Maybe that will be the modern day Tom Brady, the fifth round pick that started for the team. Also, speaking of Tom Brady, the New England Patriots unveiled a 12-foot statue, symbolic because he did wear number 12 for Tom Brady outside of Gillette Stadium before their game against the Washington Commanders. They did try to make this happen last year with the game that Tom possibly could have broadcast for Fox, but unfortunately New England sucked so bad they were never on national TV. And the unveiling, very nice. Tom was very touched. We all knew he was going to get the statue. I mean, it's Tom F. and Brady. Sidelight, Patriots beat them 48-12, or beat the Commanders 48-18, excuse me. Johnson, backup quarterback for Washington, was pretty effective. He was 15-22 for a buck 73 and a touchdown. Pretty interesting. Good for them. We shall see if Terry McLaurin does sign with Washington. I'm starting to think they need him back. They just don't look good without him. That offense reminds me of Miami without Tua. They just can't do anything. And you better get Terry McLaurin signed, and he does deserve a raise. I am always about the players getting money, getting the raises. Washington, you better figure out a way to make this happen. I do wonder why we have franchise, and I'm not going to put Washington in there because they are under new ownership, so we're going to see how that plays out. Why we have teams like the Browns and the Cowboys who fight for every effing nickel, and then you look at teams like Baltimore, you look at Philadelphia, who get deals done, who keep the team cohesive. There's a reason Baltimore and Philadelphia are in the running for the Super Bowl title every year. I do think it is an underestimated thing in the schism of what it is. It's not just talent, it's also, does the team get along? Do they like management? Do they respect management? These guys are alpha males. Just like we saw the other day, Slater, left tackle for the Chargers. He's out for the year. Thank God last week he signed a new deal. Get the money, guy. Get the money. We could talk about maybe tomorrow night about the Micah Parsons thing. But as far as I'm concerned, the Cowboys are just punting that down the road. They're just hoping he's going to capitulate and come in. And then they're, hey, you're taking the risk, guy. If you get hurt, that's the end of your career. That really is. All right, let's go through the MLB. Pirates beat the Reds 3-2. Actually, they're not playing too bad, even though they're 15 games under 500. The Pirates, going to have an okay August. They're still going to be 20 games under 500 at the end of the year. Astros beat the Yankees 5-3. The Yankees are having serious problems. Hader gets your win there. Williams, it's just going rocky in the pen there for the Yankees. He's 3-5 with a 5.7 ERA. And I saw him last week against the Rangers. Guy didn't look good. He's having a hard time getting the ball over the plate. Orioles beat the Athletics 3-2. Sagano gets the win. 9-5. If I would have said, is there a pitcher for the Orioles who's 9-5? You said there's no effing way. Orioles are 53-63, 10 games under. Yeah, maybe they make a run. Maybe they finish a couple games under. Tarek Skubal, the best pitcher in baseball, lined it up for the Tigers tonight. They rallied in the eighth inning to win 6-5. Melton gets your win. And Detmers took the loss. A couple guys got on base in the eighth. Guy hits a home run. Tough way to lose for the Angels. They really should have locked up that game. They had a 5-3 lead going in the eighth. Marlins beat the Braves. And at what point are we just calling it for the Braves? They beat them 5-1. Cabrera gets the win. I was surprised Cabrera didn't get traded at the trade deadline. He is a solid number 3 starter on any team. He's 6-5, but his ERA is 3. I was surprised. I guess they probably just wanted a little too much, you know. You're not going to get rid of Alcantara. You're not going to get rid of Cabrera. It's what it is. Guardians beat the White Sox 9-5. Bibi got the win. You know, he's had really kind of a star-crossed year. He's 8-9 with a 4.6 ERA. A couple times I've seen him, he's actually been fairly impressive. The thing about him is, it seems like he gives up a couple runs in the beginning, and then he locks down in innings like 4-6 or 4-7. And, you know, he either gets the win or the loss. But unfortunately, it's those runs in the beginning that seem to make him snake bitten, right? Phillies smashed up on the Rangers 9-1. Sanchez got the win, 11-3 with a 2.3 ERA. He could be in the running for the NL Cy Young. Twins beat the Royals 9-4. Ryan gets your win for the Twins. He is 11-5, and we did talk quite a bit about him getting traded at the trade deadline. I also was looking. The San Diego Padres were making a pretty strong move at Byron Buxton, and the Twins gave up 38% of their starting roster, of their MLB roster, and it's surprising they must not have got enough credible offers for Buxton or Ryan, so they're still there. Good luck, guys. Don't worry too much. You're going to be in the Bahamas. Brewers beat the Mets 3-2. Woodruff really having he's coming back strong from injury. He's 4-0 with a 2.2 ERA. Cardinals blanked the Cubs 5-0. McGreevy gets the win 4-2. Cubs still playing great ball. 17 games over 500. Just playing lights out. The Red Sox continue to roll. And Breslow made a kind of a shot at Devers the other day, you know, and pushed up Roman Anthony. He goes, well, you know, people we wanted to have paid, you know, are here, and people we didn't aren't here, you know. Oh, okay. If you listen to the podcast with Brian, from this point forward for 5 years, I'm going to tell you, I think Devers is still going to have a better career than Anthony, but Anthony's the up-and-coming stud. We'll see how that all plays out. Diamondbacks, beat the Rockies 6-1. Gallen gets the win. He is 9-12. What a snake bit year he has had. Rockies are 30-85. 30-85. 30-85. This is a big team. Every 11 games, they only win 3. Yeah, okay. Mariners came out on top, 3-2 over the Rays. Vargas gets your win. Dodgers, Brian was hoping for the Blue Jays. They beat the Blue Jays 5-1. Kershaw gets your win, 6-2 with a 3.1 ERA. Let us see if he is healthy when the playoffs start to roll around. And finally, in the nightcap, the Giants beat the Nationals 5-0, and not much else to say. Hey, if you could, hit that like and subscribe button. It means a lot to us. Leave some comments, and we'll see you soon on Off the Rails Sports Podcast.